my name is Steve Munson, and I am the Civil War Guru. And today I'm here in historic Bardstown, Kentucky, at the Battles of the Western Theater Museum, one of the finest museums in the country. It's dedicated to the battles in the West. And before us, we have General Bushrod Johnson, and he was a colorful character. We have his original oil painting that hung in Nashville, Tennessee. We have his Colt Navy revolver, his binoculars, his gauntlets. We have his Richmond spurs and a pocket telescope. Now what we're going to do, we're bringing you these videos to kind of whet the appetite for you to come down and visit us here at the museum. And we're kind of a hidden treasure in the state of Kentucky. But we have a large complex here, and it's a half a city block, different buildings. And this is a major general in the Confederacy. And he was actually born in Ohio. And in his early life, he joined the military, graduated from West Point. He fought in the Seminole Indian War, fought in the Mexican War. And then he resigned after the Mexican War and moved to Georgetown, Kentucky. And he was a professor at the Georgetown Military Institute. And then when the war broke out, he was teaching at the University of Nashville. And he was teaching military instructions and for militias. And they formed, when the war started, a regiment down there, and he was elected colonel. And now I'm going to move up here. I'm going to kind of zoom around on the oil painting itself, and then we'll move up and get close-ups on the artifacts. And also I'll have Kenny Rogers, our camera guy, get up there on his bow so you can get all the history on him. But this is an outstanding group of artifacts and a magnificent oil painting. This is a huge oil painting. And so what we'll do is we'll zoom around on, get his face, and this, if you notice this oil painting, and then we have a couple pictures underneath of it, which are pictures of him in this uniform, and of course black and white. But this oil painting has a lot of heavy patina, and I refuse to get it clean because it's just too magnificent. But like I say, after the war, this oil painting hung in University of Nashville. You know, after the war, he was a professor there. So let's get up there and give me a chance here, and we'll zoom in on the oil painting. Then I have Kenny move the camera forward, and we'll get close-ups on the other artifacts. Okay, what we have in front of us here is pretty self-explanatory. We got some lights flickering on us here, but that's okay. It's a model 1851 Navy, 36 caliber, and engraved on the backstrap is the general's name. And there's the holster that it was carried in. And we're gonna turn the camera off here and try to move it around to where we can get a shot of the backstrap, and then we'll move over to some other artifacts. So let me turn the camera off. All right, we got the revolver out of the case here, and you can see the engraving coming down the backstrap, and of course it's General Bushrod Johnson, and it got a lovely patina on it. But we just want to show it to you because this way you can actually see the engraving when it's in the case, and you're looking through the case, you're not going to see the engraving. But it's ID'd to him, and that's his original holster that it was sitting in the case with. Okay, so now we'll move next to the Richmond spurs that belong to General Johnson. All right, there's his match set of Richmond spurs, and these were a wonderful product made in Richmond. And we assume, since he was Western Theater, that after the Battle of Lookout Mountain and Chickamauga, he left his command and went with General Longstreet back to the Army of Northern Virginia. And he spent the rest of the war under command of the Army of Northern Virginia. So these are a wonderful set of spurs, and you know, you see a lot of them dug, but it's hard to find them that are in this condition. They got great patina, just beautifully untouched. And then I'm gonna get Kenny just to pan across and get his little pocket binocular and his, or should I say, telescope, and his regular set of binoculars that are made in Paris. And then we'll conclude. All right, thank you for visiting with us, and make sure when you get a chance and everything, we have the green light, come down and visit us here in historic Nelson County in Bardstown, Kentucky, one of the most fabulous small towns in the United States. And this is also home to Benjamin Hardin Helm, Confederate general, that was Abraham Lincoln's brother-in-law. And his home is still intact and still lived in, and it's here in town. And of course, you're in the bourbon capital of the world. You got all the great bourbon manufacturers right here in Nelson County. So from the old Civil War guru and the board of directors of the old Bardstown Village and Civil War Museums, we bid you farewell.